Welcome to the Knoll Whisper. Prepare yourselves.
Did you know there's a lake in Russia where 5 minutes on the shore will kill you? Lake Karachay looks like any ordinary small lake, but it's actually the most radioactive place on Earth. For decades, the Soviet Union had a problem. Nuclear waste from their weapons program had to go somewhere, so they chose this remote lake in the Ural Mountains. Truck after truck dumped radioactive material directly into the water. Year after year, the radiation became so intense that standing near the shore delivers a fatal dose in minutes. The lake contains more radioactive material than Chernobyl ever released. In 1967, drought exposed the contaminated lakebed. Radioactive dust blew across 900 square miles. 500,000 people were irradiated. The Soviets tried to cover it up. They dumped concrete blocks over the lake, but the damage was done. Today, deadly radiation still leaks into the groundwater. The lake remains a permanent dead zone, hidden in the mountains, poisoning everything around it, a toxic legacy that will outlive us all. In 1950, 11 men pulled off what became known as the crime of the century. The Brinks Armored Car Depot in Boston was a fortress. Armed guards, multiple locks, steel doors, alarm systems everywhere. But these thieves had a plan 2 years in the making. They studied every detail, guard schedules, lock mechanisms, escape routes. They even made duplicate keys by sneaking impressions during fake deliveries. On a cold January night, wearing Halloween masks, they struck. In just 17 minutes, they cleaned out the vault. $2.7 million, the biggest heist in American history. The FBI launched the largest investigation ever. Hundreds of agents, thousands of interviews, but the crew stayed silent. For 6 years, they were ghosts. Then one member started talking. Joseph O'Keefe couldn't keep his mouth shut about the score. That loose tongue unraveled everything. One by one, the entire crew was arrested, but their heist changed everything. Banks revolutionized their security systems. The protocols they created, we still use them today. The perfect crime, destroyed by an imperfect criminal. Did you know that in 1979, a flash in space almost started World War III? September 22nd, a US spy satellite detected something terrifying over the South Atlantic Ocean. A double flash, the unmistakable signature of a nuclear bomb. But no country admitted to testing weapons that day. Within hours, the Carter administration locked down everything. Satellite data vanished. Investigators were told to stay quiet. The evidence simply disappeared. What really happened in those dark waters? Some believe Israel and South Africa secretly tested a nuclear weapon together. Others think a lost warhead accidentally detonated. But here's what makes it truly chilling. 45 years later, governments still refuse to talk about it. Files remain classified. Officials who were there won't speak. That flash lit up the darkness of space for just seconds, but it created a mystery that has lasted decades. The Vela incident proves that some secrets are buried so deep, even time can't uncover them. What else are they hiding from us? Did you know that 40 tons of poison gas once turned a city into a death trap in minutes? December 3rd, 1984. Bhopal, India. A Union Carbide pesticide plant leaked deadly methyl isocyanate gas into the night air. Families were sleeping when the invisible cloud rolled through the slums. They never saw it coming. People woke up choking, their lungs burning, eyes going blind, skin peeling from chemical burns. Over 3,000 died within days. But here's the truly horrifying part. The company executives fled India immediately. They knew what they'd done. They left behind contaminated groundwater that still poisons people today. Union Carbide paid just $470 million for thousands of lives. The plant's ruins, they're still there, still leaking toxins into the soil. 40 years later, children are born with birth defects. Cancer rates remain sky high. This wasn't an accident. Internal documents later revealed the company knew their safety systems were failing. They chose profits over human lives. The Bhopal disaster remains history's worst industrial catastrophe, and the victims are still dying. Did you know that over 900 people died in less than an hour because one man told them to? In 1978, Jim Jones had built what seemed like paradise. His jungle compound in Guyana promised freedom from American racism and poverty. Nearly 1,000 followers believed him. They sold everything, left their families, moved to the middle of nowhere. But paradise was a prison. Jones controlled every aspect of their lives. He took their passports, their money, their hope of escape. Then came November 18th. Jones announced it was time for revolutionary suicide. He ordered his followers to drink cyanide-laced flavor aid. The audio recordings are haunting. You can hear children crying, parents sobbing as they're forced to poison their own babies first. Meanwhile, Jones speaks calmly over a loudspeaker, directing the mass murder like it's a normal day. Those who refused were held down and injected. In less than an hour, 918 people were dead. The man who promised them paradise had delivered them straight to hell. Did you know a Soviet cosmonaut was sent on a suicide mission to save his best friend's life? In 1967, Vladimir Komarov was ordered to pilot Soyuz 1. He knew the spacecraft was broken. Engineers had found over 200 critical flaws. It was a death sentence. But if Komarov refused the mission, his backup pilot would take his place. That backup was Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, a Soviet hero. Komarov couldn't let his friend die instead. Gagarin begged officials to let him fly. He knew the truth too, but Komarov had already made his choice. On April 24th, Soyuz 1 launched with Komarov inside. Everything went wrong immediately. Solar panels failed. Navigation systems died. As the capsule began its deadly re-entry, ground control could only listen. Komarov's final transmission was filled with rage. He cursed the officials who sent him to die. His words burned through the radio as his capsule burned through the atmosphere. He became the first human to die in spaceflight, a hero who chose death over letting evil men kill his friend. Did you know a man was murdered with an umbrella on a London bridge? September 7th, 1978. Georgy Markov waited for his bus on Waterloo Bridge. He felt a sharp sting in his leg. A stranger with an umbrella apologized and walked away. 3 days later, Markov was dead. Doctors found a tiny metal pellet in his thigh, no bigger than a pinhead, filled with ricin, one of the deadliest poisons on Earth. The umbrella had been modified. Its tip fired poison pellets with compressed air. Markov was a Bulgarian writer who spoke out against the communist regime. His radio broadcasts reached millions behind the Iron Curtain. The KGB wanted him silenced. They turned an everyday object into a weapon of assassination, the perfect cover for murder in broad daylight. The killer was never caught. He vanished into the crowd like any other London commuter. This wasn't fiction. This was Cold War reality, where enemies could be anywhere, and death could come from something as innocent as an umbrella. Did you know a former spy was murdered with one of the deadliest substances on Earth, slipped into his afternoon tea? In 2006, Alexander Litvinenko sat down for tea at a London hotel. He was a former KGB agent who had turned against Russia, who had spoken out against Putin. Within hours, he was dying. Doctors couldn't figure out what was killing him. His hair fell out. His organs shut down. He wasted away for 3 agonizing weeks. Finally, they discovered the truth. Someone had poisoned his tea with polonium-210, a radioactive substance so toxic that a grain smaller than salt could kill you. But here's the terrifying part. The poison left a glowing trail everywhere it went. Hotel rooms, airplanes, restaurants, like deadly breadcrumbs across London. Investigators followed that radioactive path all the way back to Moscow, back to the Kremlin itself. Litvinenko knew who had ordered his death. With his final breath, he accused Putin directly. The perfect assassination, except they left a trail of radiation that told the whole story. Did you know a 14-pound ball of metal killed 2 scientists and became known as the most cursed object in history? They called it the Demon Core. In 1945, physicist Harry Deglian was working alone in a lab. He accidentally dropped a tungsten brick onto this plutonium sphere. A brilliant blue flash filled the room. Daglian knew immediately. He was dead. The radiation slowly destroyed his body over 25 agonizing days. His skin fell off in sheets. 8 months later, Louis Slotin was showing the same core to colleagues. He used a screwdriver to keep 2 plutonium pieces apart. The screwdriver slipped. Another blue flash. Another death sentence. Slotin's colleagues watched in horror as he calmly told them exactly how much radiation they'd each received. He saved their lives with his final act. Then he died screaming as his cells literally disintegrated. The cursed sphere had claimed 2 brilliant minds in identical accidents. The military finally destroyed the Demon Core in a nuclear test. But those 2 blue flashes still haunt Los Alamos today. Did you know there was once a man who could eat an entire cow in a single day? In 1700s France, a soldier named Tarrare horrified everyone he met. His hunger was impossible. Doctors watched him devour 20 pounds of raw meat without stopping. But that wasn't enough. He broke into morgues to eat corpses. He swallowed live cats whole. Hospital staff caught him drinking patients' blood. When a 14-month-old baby disappeared from the hospital, all eyes turned to Tarrare. He fled before anyone could prove what happened. Medical records describe his body as grotesque. His mouth could stretch wide enough to fit 12 eggs. His stomach hung to his knees when empty. The smell coming from him was so foul that people couldn't stand within 20 feet. Doctors tried everything: drugs, chains. Nothing could control his appetite. When Tarrare finally died, physicians cut him open to solve the mystery. What they found inside defied all medical understanding. His autopsy report was so disturbing that it remained hidden for decades. Some hungers can never be satisfied. Did you know that in Cambodia, children as young as 10 were turned into executioners? Between 1975 and 79, Pol Pot's regime killed 2 million people, nearly a quarter of the entire country. But this wasn't random violence. It was calculated terror. Wearing glasses meant death. You were labeled an intellectual. Speaking a foreign language meant death. Having soft hands meant death. You weren't a real farmer. City dwellers were marched to labor camps at gunpoint. Families were separated forever. Children were brainwashed into killing machines. They were forced to murder their own parents to prove loyalty. Victims weren't shot. Bullets were too expensive. They were beaten to death with hammers and farming tools. The killing was so systematic that entire bloodlines were erased. No survivors meant no revenge. Today, over 20,000 mass grave sites dot the Cambodian countryside. Millions of bones still surface after heavy rains. In just 4 years, Pol Pot created a nation of orphans. The trauma still haunts Cambodia today. An entire generation that learned to fear their own children.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, if you dare.